Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell for updates anytime I upload a new video. Now these are my patterns and I am using those patterns to cut out the fabric. Okay, right now this is the center part. Of course the center part will have two fabric pieces. That's why I folded it, and now I'm adding 1 inch allowance on the hip line, which is the down part of it. So, and of course after adding it, I'm going to be folding in before cutting out. Okay, this is 1 inch hemming allowance, so I'm cutting 2 of this. This is the center panel because it's a princess that, you know, shoulder princess that I have. I'll be having 4 panels for the front. Okay, so this is going to give me 2 panels or 2 fabric pieces, and the other side, which is the side panel, you know, is going to give me 2 pieces as well, so making 4 for the front alone. Okay, so now you'll be adding 1/2 inch seam allowance all around each of these patterns, as you can see. So now that I'm done cutting, and I have also cut out the other parts using the panels, the patterns. Okay, so I'm removing the pins now, and of course this is the outer parts, you know, the parts that will be outside. Okay, and this part I'm going to be cutting the same thing for the facing. Okay, so I'm cutting 4 of these parts. So this is the other 2, which is the facing, and please take note that the facing will have 1/2 inch hemming allowance and not 1 inch like the outer parts. Okay, so these pieces have sewing allowances added. Okay, so please, it is very important, your sewing allowances, very important. So like I said, this is my facing and it has just 1/2 inch hemming allowance, while the outer parts have 1 inch hemming allowance. So the reason for this I'll be explaining to you later in this video. Okay, so all the pieces except the facing have 1 inch hemming allowance. Take note of this. So now this is my back facing, okay, for the neck. So the next thing for me now is to bring out my fusible interfacing and attach on the facing. Okay, I'm attaching on this facing, the back facing, back neck facing, and I will also be attaching the interfacing on the wrong side of the center panel, the facing of the center panel. Can you see? So I'm attaching this fusible interfacing on this and on the back neck facing as well. Okay, so now I am done pressing with my pressing iron on each of these pieces. Okay, so this is what I have well pressed on the wrong side of each of these pieces. Okay, so I'm taking this, you know, I'm putting aside right now. So now the next thing for me is to join all the fabric pieces together. My pieces, this is very important. In fact, this is the purpose why I made this video, to show you how to sew or join these pieces together. Okay, so now this is my center, my side panel, front side panel. I have 2. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it on my table this way, and I'm going to bring the center panels and arrange them the way they are supposed to be joined. Okay, so I'm going to ensure I join my fabric pieces as shown. Okay, then please take note of the notches. The notches are very important. They are your reference points. Okay, so now I have joined the front pieces together, the side and the center piece. Can you see how neat it is? Sorry. So of course I have also joined the other parts, because now it's going to be 2 parts, or 2 parts that will make the front, you know, the whole of the front. Okay, so right now this is the back, and I'm going to place it this way, and I'm going to sew from the neck line down to the hip line. This part is the center back. So on my pattern I added ½ inch to it, so I'll be sewing in or taking in the ½ inch that I added. Okay, so right now what I think is the next thing for me to do is to attach the facing. Okay, this is the facing for the front, and I have only one here, and of course I have 2. So this is one, and I'm going to do the other one as well. Okay, I said earlier on that I added ½ inch to the facing, ½ inch hemming allowance to the facing, while the outer part has 1 inch. So you are going to sew this way, okay, following the curve from the hip up to the neckline. Okay, and for this part you are going to begin your sewing ½ inch away from your hemming allowance. Sorry, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. You are going to measure ½ inch up. Yeah, this is my ½ inch. So you are going to begin your sewing from this point upward. Okay, from this very point, this is where your sewing will begin, and it will go like that till you get to the neckline. This is very important, so please just take note of this. Don't sew from the down part, just ensure you do what you are seeing right now. So now I'm done sewing, can you see? And I also left ½ inch. Okay, I didn't sew the ½ inch. I said, you know, that I said we're going to leave. Okay, so right now I'm going to be, you know, notching all the parts so that when I eventually press it, it's going to relax properly. So this, your notches, is very important because it makes the fabric to relax well by the time you fold and you sew. Okay, so now I am going to pick this ½ inch, and I am going to just place it on the outer part. Make sure it's of the same level. You know, the outer part has 1 inch hemming allowance, so you are going to just bring ½ inch from that and the half an inch on the facing together. Okay, then you sew at this point, sew on this line, so and you sew from here up to this very point. So now this is my back, and I've joined my back at the center back, as you can see. So now I am done sewing the front facing. I attached like so, and of course I have a little, you know, fabric gathered up at this point, and because it's the sewing allowance, the hemming allowance that I added, which is 1 inch, so you're going to just bring it down this way, okay, and use your fingers to press it flat and lay on the machine and sew together just this way. I hope you understand. So this idea is just to make sure the down parts of this design or this fabric relaxes properly. Okay, so now I am done sewing, and can you see? So I'm just going to turn out for you to see the final look, but before I do that, I'm going to trim off the excesses at this point. So you can use your ruler or maybe a screwdriver or something to punch it from within, from inside, so that at least it can have this neat look on the outer part. So, and this point as well, I'm also going to trim off the excess and turn it inside out, as you can see. So can you see? Use your finger or you use a ruler. So this is what I have, and it's really laying properly. Can you see how it is? Very neat on the outer part. And this is what Thydee fashion it's all about. Finish look is very important to me. Okay, so I have done the other part as well, and look at it. This is looking nice. I also pressed it. You have a steaming iron. You can steam as you know, as you sew. So look at the finished look on the outer part. So this is very lovely actually. So now you're going to press it, ensure you press it properly, and it relaxes well as well. So now this is my back. I'm going to serge this part, and at this center back I'm going to serge separately if possible, or bring it together and serge. Okay, you can do that if you have a serger. So you can also do it separately even before you join it. Okay, so I think that's the best to do. All right, so what's the next thing for me is to join the neckline. You join the front together to make, you know, one. So this is my facing, and I've also serged the down part. So now I'm going to bring the two together, right side to right side, and sew. So the idea is just to make it one piece. Now I've done that, and I've also, can you see how neat it is? I've also pressed it. So now I'm going to be joining the neckline together. So please pay attention to the way I'm going to attach the two or bring the two together. So you're going to open up the seam allowance like so, and you are going to bring it together and use your pins to secure it. So now you are going to sew it. Okay, now I am done sewing. See, very neat. And I've also pressed it. You press the seam allowance flat, just separate and press. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it together this way, the neckline, and I'm going to attach it to the back neck line. Okay, because this part is meant for the back. All right, so it has to be joined to the back. So I'm going to bring my back piece right now, and of course I'm going to be joining or attaching with pins. So ensure you consider the center back. Make sure you consider the center back, because that is where your pinning will start from. So you're going to bring it together this way, and considering the center to center, and you use your pin to secure. So you pin round the neckline. Please pay attention as I pin. There is a notch at the corner of the neck, so follow this notch. This notch is like a guide for you when you are sewing on the sewing machine. So once you get to this part, you raise your presser foot, raise it up and turn it so that you can sew the shoulder line. But pinning here, I think, explains how it could be done on the sewing machine. So then you turn this way and secure the rest of the shoulder. Please, your notch on this corner of the neck must not be as deep as mine. It was actually a mistake that I made it too deep this way. It was not supposed to be like that, okay, under normal circumstances. So ensure that you have a small notch, not too deep like mine. Okay. So can you see? Let me show you how it looks on the right side. Can you see how neat it is? I haven't even sewn it. Can you see? So it has, that corner has to be neatly finished or neatly sewn. This is very important. Okay. Yeah. And I have sewn and it's looking beautiful already. Okay. So this is too deep. Please ensure yours is not as deep as this. Please. The notch on the neckline, the corner there, is too deep. Do not allow yours to be as deep as mine. Okay, don't repeat my mistakes. I was able to find a way around it anyway, but please, to avoid issues for yourself, do not make it too deep. So now I'm attaching my facing as usual, and I'm going to also follow. So now I'm done attaching and I've ironed it already, and it is beautiful. Can you see? It is lovely both on the inside and the outside. Okay, so right now I'm going to be attaching this facing to the seam allowance, okay, with a needle and thread. Now I am going to join the sides. You bring front and back together, join it, and you also turn, and you can sew or you tack with needle and thread to have a neat finishing, and you attach your sleeve and you are good to go. So this is the final look, and this is the final look. Can you see how beautiful it's looking right now? So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.